guys, welcome back to Model Image. If this is your first time, hi, my name is Rashay. I'm a lover of fashion, the business of fashion. I'm also a little obsessed with vintage. If this is your first time, I do a lot of styling content here, primarily through thrifted or vintage finds. So if you do like styling content, please consider subscribing. I'd love for you to join the family. So this week I'm talking about how I decide thrifting versus splurge, and I'll show you how I make my decisions on what I'm purchasing with each season, what I decide to thrift on versus what I decided to splurge on. I also have a few pieces to haul, which I'll show you as I go through the category, but I didn't actually do a thrift with me, so I don't have that footage. I popped in somewhere in South Jersey as well as somewhere in Philly, and I just wanted to see what they had, grab a few pieces, but I didn't go in there intending to do a haul, but I'll show you what I did get anyhow in this video. When I go through my list of things that I want to get for a season, I always go through my head, what are some of the pieces that these are things that I want specifically versus do I just like the style? And the first thing I wanted to talk about, I feel like I've been gatekeeping, and that is in jewelry. Some of the jewelry, I do love thrifting a vintage chunky jewelry, but I did a feature with some fine jewelry, and you know, it's just good to have some of these special pieces. And one of the places that I do get wearable fine jewelry, and I'm not sure if you know about it, it's called JTV. I decided to wear these today so you can see this. I have purchased, it's like a freshwater pearl. You're getting, this is 10 karat gold, and it also has like a speck of diamonds on it. So it's like genuine diamond, genuine gold, and you know, genuine freshwater pearl. So if you're looking for a few special pieces, I know everyone doesn't have that great budget, but longevity is, you know, one of the benefits of having, you know, fine jewelry is the longevity of it. You do have to carry it because they're a little more fragile than say a gold-plated brass or gold-plated steel, but it's just, you know, treating yourself to something special. And JTV is just one of my go-to places. I've bought gifts for my mom from there, nice diamond ring. Her birthstone is garnet, so I was able to get quality garnet and gold from JTV, and I haven't been there in a while, and so when I saw these, I grabbed them, and I'm like, why haven't I told you guys about it? Of course, this isn't a sponsored promotion. It's just something that I've used, and it's affordable, so I thought I would definitely let you guys know and not gatekeep. But I do have a link where you could get $25 off a minimum spend of like $50, and that is amazing. So definitely check that out. I'll put it in the link below. These are, you know, so lovely, such quality pieces, and I'm like, why didn't I tell you guys about this? Failing that, I also found this on Amazon. I was looking for tennis bracelets. Okay, so like I said, JTV is fine jewelry. You can find gold-plated silver, etc. on it. I go there directly for 14 karat gold, 10 karat gold, you know, actual gold pieces because I want high fine jewelry. That's why I go there. You can find other things. But where it comes to their tennis bracelets, the gold was like still $1,000+, and I found this one on Amazon. Now this, they have it for gold plated, and they also have this gold vermeil, and of course, you know, gold vermeil lasts much longer than gold plated, and because the thickness of the plating is a lot thicker. I'm sure most of you know what gold vermeil is, just, you know, saying it just to put it out there. So really love this, and this is from Amazon, so I'll link that below as well if you're looking for a few special pieces. Mother's Day is coming up. You want to treat yourself because you've been such a great mother. You know exactly what you want, but from time to time, you know, I just like picking up a few special pieces just for me. And so when I saw this, I really wanted to get, because I've had the gold plated ones and then they tarnish and I have to change it, and I'm hoping this one will last a lot longer because it is gold vermeil. So, and of course it looks really, really cute on. So that's another option for jewelry. So for jewelry, you know, I do go high-low. I do love an occasional fine jewelry piece. I will go mid-range and do retail. This is a little bit, I'm thinking, because it's gold vermeil. And then I also get thrifted, bold, beautiful vintage when I go out. I always look. So yeah, so that's the first thing for jewelry. So going through my wardrobe, I wanted some basics, and you know, I already talked about white t-shirts, white tank tops that you can definitely thrift. What I wanted, because I don't know, something about spring that just makes it feel very Parisian style to me. I was looking for striped basics, so like striped t-shirts or striped tanks that I could pair on the suits, because again, when I'm thinking about spring, I'm thinking suits and I just need some layering pieces. And because I'm not looking for specific brands, then I know I can go to the thrift. For instance, if I were to buy the striped shirt on, say, Mango or Zara, we're looking at about $12 to $15. Whereas if I go to the thrift, you know, I can make some savings on that. So already I'm saving money by thrifting rather than buying it retail. I found 3 pieces. First, I found this blue and white stripe, and it is by Officine Générale Paris. This is probably a actual Paris brand, so I loved that. Next, I found this little one, another white t-shirt. So this one has like a micro stripe, but you know, together I still don't think it came up to $15. Or they may have, this one is by Splendid, but I was looking for a lighter stripe because I have a green suit that I wanted to try this with. So yeah, so I also got this. And then I also picked up this sleeveless tank. So when it gets a little warmer and I don't want to have a full sleeve under a suit, then I can definitely take this one. I still have the tag on this. And this one was $4.29, and this is by Lewin Gray. So, you know, for basics where I'm not brand sensitive and I just wanted a look, the broader stripes. This is black and white. And I really, well, it's more like a creamy color, and I like that muted color as well. So because it's not brand sensitive, I'm like, I'll just thrift that. I don't need to get it retail. And so I save some money from purchasing it on retail and I go thrift. So, you know, I'm banking some savings already that I can put towards something later on. Next up, we're looking at like lighter knits. And because it's spring, I am looking for sometimes short sleeve or some lighter colors. And again, this isn't brand sensitive. I just want something that fits the bill. I found this little one. This is just a short sleeve tan knit with a mock neck. This is by Sag Harbor. It's a vintage mock neck short sleeve knit. That's a mouthful. But yeah, so something again like this where I'm looking for color, I'm looking for design, I'm not necessarily looking for a specific brand. Then I'm like, okay, I'll just go to the thrift. It will cost me very little. Again, if I went on Zara, it would probably be about $39 or $29. So I definitely am saving money by thrifting, because it's not an item that I'm looking for a specific item. I'm just looking for the style of it. So I definitely thrift it and save the money and rather than splurge. If you saw my spring trends video, I spoke about polo shirts. Now, the only polo shirts that I could find were mostly men's or some really boxy ones. For the polo shirt trends, I was really leaning into the more fitted ones, and I found 2 polo shirts that fit the bill. Funnily, they're 2 of the same brand. So these are J. Crew. The first one is this white with blue accent, and I just really liked the look of this, and you can tell that it's going to be a little more fitted, whereas the rest were like really wide and boxy. This I got for $5.99, and here is the other one, the reverse. So this is a navy with the white piping, and again you can see that it's quite narrow, so it'll be nice and closer fitting rather than a boxy set. Now, polo shirts, again, you're looking probably at about $39.99 and more just on the retail market. Of course, if you go designer, it's even way more that, you know, because we're being inspired by the catwalk. But I just wanted the style. So I knew that I could definitely thrift that, save the money rather than splurge on my trending polo look. So that's the next thing. Next up, there's usually some kind of shoes or a several pairs of shoes that is on my mind for the season. Now, you saw me do a reel. If you haven't, I'll link it, but I did a reel where some of the trending shoes I'm looking for. So like I'm still haven't found the perfect Alaya dupe at the thrift. I still have decided not to buy retail because it's not something that I necessarily want. I haven't seen something on the retail that that is pulling me in. It's obvious, it's an obvious dupe. I want to find a vintage version that it's mimicking it in some way, but it's completely unique. So that's kind of what I want for that. When it comes to sneakers, I can also thrift, but there has been two that I've been waiting on to not buy just because I wanted to be sure that I wanted it. And then I went ahead and made the splurge on these because in this case, I was looking for something very specific that I didn't want an alternative to. Now, looking at the website, I tried to follow the sizing guide and I ended up getting a pair of size 7s, or I got 2 pairs in size 7s. This is a while ago. When it came, it was too big. I'm like, okay, maybe I should get the 6.5. I sent it back because it was saying 6.5 is 7.5 women, which is what I wear. Got the 6.5, still too big. I had to send it back. Then it was out of stock. I had to go somewhere else and get it. Basically, there are 2 pairs of Adidas. Now, I showed in my last week's video how if you didn't want to splurge, you could definitely go for like the originals, which already has the stripes and it's just peeking out under your shoes. But I did want to get this specific shoe and colorway, and the one I got is the Sambas. I loved the red and I loved lighter sole. Most people have the black, and when I saw the black, it just wasn't special to me, which is why I held off. Like, do I want them? Do I need them? All my sneakers right now are quite grubby. So I needed to change the pairs out anyway, and I couldn't decide. So I did finally get it in the 6, which, you know, it's typically my size, but I tried so hard to get it right, and I should have just gotten my size in men's, which is a size 6. So if you do wear size 7.5, go for the size 6 because the 6.5 is too big. It's more like an 8. So yes, I got the Sambas in the red, and that's exactly what I wanted. I had to hunt these down. They're out of stock in my size everywhere, and I finally got this back. Oh, such a drama. It's like a whole month trying to get a pair of sneakers. Isn't that crazy? The other pair I want, you know, especially like I said, for shoes, I like a pop of color on my feet. And the ones that I wanted in the Gazelles are these. Look at that rich green. Unfortunately, this is the 6.5, and I do need, because now I bought both on Adidas, and I had to return them, and by the time I was returning them, this was out of stock, and the other one I got it in 6.5, and then I had to send it back, and then the 6 was out of stock, so I had to go 2 separate places to get these. So now by the time I got that to realize I do need 6, I still had these coming in the 6.5, so now I need to change these also to the 6. So it's too much work. It's too much work. It's just too much work. Anyhow, I just need to get these in a 6. Hopefully they're not all sold out, but yeah. So those are the 2 pairs that for certain shoes I definitely decide to splurge on. There are certain, I do love a bougie shoe. So when it comes to like a Gucci loafer, whereas I could have gone the Sam Edelman, I might go the route of the vintage version rather than the Sam Edelman or Steve Madden version, because I'm still looking for quality and it's gonna stay in my closet. So when it comes to shoes, it's very hard to thrift because I'm looking for something very specific. So either I buy it online, pre-loved, or I just go straight in retail and get the shoes. So when it comes to shoes, my weakness, I tend to go straight for specifically what I want. So the next is handbags. Now there are certain handbags where, again, I just like the idea of it. For instance, I just showed you in last week's video that red is just like a really fun pop of color. So if I was looking for a red bag, there's no red bag, designer bag that I'm like, I want that specific bag. I just want a nice rich red that I could just pop on, especially if I'm, you know, like this blue and white stripe. It would just be great to have a nice pop of red. So something like that, I'd look out for the thrift. Now when it comes to something like a designer piece that I'm like, okay, again, I'd wait to see if it's something that I really wanted. Then I know that most of the other things that I've purchased for the season are thrifted. So I have a little wiggle room in the budget to purchase something that I really want. And about 2 years ago, since the last time I, you know, bought a brand new designer bag, I'd usually go pre-loved or vintage, which is still in the splurge category. But for this one, although I could thrift the style, I really wanted this specific bag. And so I went out and splurged on the Louis V. I forgot what this one is, you know, the Paula Ibiza basket bag. And they're actually increased in price since I bought mine. So I'm glad I bought mine when I did. So for general bags where I'm just looking for the style, then I just thrift it. You know, I want a red bag or I want a navy bag or something of that sort, I just thrift it. But if I have something on mind, I know I already saved my money on a lot of things. For instance, even suits. I think all my suits are thrifted. I don't waste time buying a suit retail. There's so much fabulous vintage suits at the thrift. So saving all my money on clothes, you know, handbags, jewelry, and shoes apparently is where I like to do my splurges. So that's the next thing. So for the most part, when it comes to trends, you know, the Louis Vuitton bag was a trend, but it's also a staple. The sneakers, although they're a trend, is something that I wear every day, and I wanted a specific look in the sneakers. I wanted specific ones. But when it comes to trends in general, even if I get the designer one after, I usually try the style first to see if it's something that I want to invest in. And sometimes when I thrift it, the item that I thrift is good enough to give me the simulation of what I want, that I no longer am tempted by the more expensive designer or trending piece. And so other, you know, trend pieces that I saw that I wanted to try, I wanted to definitely, you know, if you've been watching this channel, you know, I try to stay away from red, but I decided to pick this one up when I saw it. It is this vintage knitted top. It has some diamantes right here, which I thought was really cute, a little cutout diamante. This is by Knit Chic. So it's probably, you know, that label looks very 90s. So if I'm adding anything to the closet, and I want that pop of red, then this is definitely something I'd thrift. Because I know it's not something that I'd wear every day. It's something that I just want to pull out, just know that it's there if I'm in the mood to wear it. So I definitely would want to save money on something like that. Next up, it's belts. So last week I told you about belts that I had picked up, you know, one of those days wandering around in the thrift. And this was the belt that I was telling you about. So it's just a simple buckle. I didn't have anything in silver, and I went looking for a belt specifically, which is something like this I know I could definitely thrift. And this is one I said you could definitely find. So it's black on one side, and you could flip the thing around, and then it's a dark brown belt. So this is definitely something I would thrift. So I just wanted a nice, simple, classic buckle in silver, and so this is the one that I picked up. As it relates to the designer belt, I also found This is, I still haven't found a belt for it, but this is a Pierre Hardin, and it's very much like the, what do you call it, the YSL belt. And this is how, when you put the belt on it, it would still give that YSL belt look by the time you add the belt. So although I was inspired by the YSL belt, I was able to find this for a low cost online. I have seen similar vintage belts out. I saw one recently, but it was really long and I decided to leave it. But I first look for something like that I know I can definitely thrift at the thrifts. The last belt I bought was, I think, a Gucci belt. I had the dupe of the Gucci belt that I wore so much, I finally decided to go out and buy a small waist belt version. And so yeah, so belts, I think I typically go vintage market for that, or for simpler belts, I just thrift that and save the money. So another trend I was on the lookout for, I've seen it in Mango. I think Bermuda shorts is like $39, $69, $79. So in saving that amount of money, I definitely knew I could find that at the thrifts, and I was lucky to pick this one up. Now this, I can tell, is gonna be a little big, but luckily it has belt loops here. I could also like just put in some darts somewhere. This is by, I can't see the thing. Okay, and this is a vintage Slazenger, and this is vintage. I also love this little thing right here. I don't know if it's some kind of like men's golf shorts, but I really love it. I love the quality of it as well. So again, this is definitely something I would look out for in the thrift rather than splurge. So guys, that's it. I just wanted to find out the way to do my haul. I didn't have a thrift with me today, so I hope you enjoyed this style of doing my little haul. Put a little information in there just so you can get a little more detail inside my head. So yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Do check out the link. I definitely think you are going to enjoy JTV if you haven't heard about it before. And as well, this tennis bracelet is gorgeous. So if you were in the market for a tennis bracelet, I'll also link that below as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This was fun. Don't forget to let me know in the comment section what look was your favorite. As well, don't forget to subscribe. I'd love for you to subscribe. And if you did like this video, please give it a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.